And I'm very pleased to greet you in the name of Viljandi Culture Academy. We are here today to present our disc project. We have our partners here from Spain and Ireland. And I promise that we have prepared interesting hours for you. But first, I will give a word to Temuri, my dear colleague, who is musician and decided that all the project partners should also show that they are not only some bureaucrats, but they are also able to play some music. And I know that my colleagues from Spain and Ireland are a bit nervous because it's very exprompt. But Temuri, what will you play?
Hello and welcome. Actually, I wanted to, Kadri almost said it all that I wanted to say. So we have this band for almost 2 years now. And today we decided that we will choose some pieces and play them. And we'll do one piece from Estonia, one from Ireland, and one from Spain. And I will not say the names of the pieces, perhaps Estonian ones you know yourself, and let's see what will happen. Thank you.
Please, stage is yours.
So for this one, we want you to collaborate. All of you are all volunteers. Thank you. So there's a rate very typical in Spain, and maybe you can join us. I need my hands. So it should be something like this. Okay, can we have the bass and the chords? Sure, sorry. We are playing another one, it's true. So I was thinking in the other one. Let's try this one. Can you do it first?
Thank you, Temuri, for embarrassing all of us.
Thank you. As you see, we are musically very diverse, but we have managed to do some things together. As you can see, also music, but not only. We have managed to carry on this disc project for almost 2 years now. And now I'm inviting here with me Ester and Kara, and we will introduce you a bit what this disc project is about and what we have done and what our plans. So let's see if we have today's schedule. But it's very delicate button. Let's see if I can't. Yes, that's right. So we will start with Ester's part, and I will give you this nice thing.
Slider, thank you.
Yes.
Well, this is not going to be as funny as the previous part, but we hope we can keep you connected to the subject. Well, we are going to tell you a little bit about our project, and I am just going to tell you where does it come from, what was the motivation, and what kind of application we did. The Digital Skills for Music Teachers project was really born from a previous project that was called New Skills for New Artists. We were already cooperating in a similar consortium. But then, so we were finishing the previous project, and we were like, we continue to work. We want to continue to work with our friends from across Europe. So let's do a new application. So, well, this is the funny part. But then we were researching a little bit before the application, and we found out that there was a lack of digital skills in general and technological approach to music education, because in general, like governments were paying attention to music education in regular schools, let's say standard schools, but the special idiosyncrasies of our subjects, just as ear training, harmony, piano teaching, chamber music, or voice, or whatever, were very specific and require different attention. So we created these Erasmus Plus strategic partnerships for adult education, as we were also looking at our graduate students and their needs to upskill their skills for the market and for the education. So we were granted with 250,000 euros for 2 years and a half, in which we have structured our project in 3 phases. First phase is the research phase that Karak is going to tell you about later. Then the second phase is the pilot program that we have designed thanks to this research. And the third phase is the dissemination, in which we are already starting to tell you about our findings. So, as I was saying, the point of departure was this, that the lack of research in the field. We were trying to find out some data about this, and we didn't find anything. There are limited knowledge, of course, of legal obligations, because one of the things that we wanted to undertake in the modules were the knowledge on copyright, plagiarism, AI, and this kind of knowledge that we music educators and musicians, we need to know when we are teaching, or safety issues, as well as cyberbullying, or let's say things that are happening in the online environment, and that were like there was like this bubble when the COVID pandemic came and all these things exploded, right? Things that we were not prepared for. Also, insufficient policies tailored to music education, as I was saying before, but also opportunities to enhance education through technology, not only online education, but also regular education that can be enhanced with technologies, and also opportunities to develop new business models in music education, taking the opportunity of using technology, for example, to teach from a rural area, let's say, right? Or to teach to, people with less advantages to access music education. So the project outputs are mainly 3. One, provide the state-of-the-art on the current level and need of digital and technological skills in music education. The second one, to design a curriculum in digital skills for music teachers that is agile and provides a basic and transversal framework. We are not addressing everything that needs to be learned, but we are trying to develop a basic framework also to open doors to new knowledge, and also to open curiosity to new knowledge. So then, of course, digital skills is probably better always to learn by yourself with tutorials. And then the third one, to generate a toolbox that allows scaling this digitalization of music across Europe. We are working on this still. So with this, what do we want, what do we envision, what is our vision? We want to contribute to the digital transformation of conservatoires, academies, music schools, freelance professionals, to empower also music educators and music professionals to update their skills and meet the evolving demands of both music education, but also the contemporary society that is changing with us. And also to create this corpus, this essential toolkit that is cross-disciplinary, that has cross-disciplinary tools and enhance music education across Europe. It's curious because the 4 modules are being designed by the 4 partners. I haven't said that, we are 4 partners. It's not only MTU, Cork Music School in Ireland, it's of course Viljandi Cultural Academy of the University of Tartu, but it's also our partner from, another partner from Spain, that is DEX Estrategias Exteriores, that will be coming soon, our partner Ivan, and us, Reina Sofia School of Music in Madrid. Apologies, this should be there in the PowerPoint. But it's very curious because the 4 modules have the identity of the 4 partners, and we are very different partners, and we there is the culture of each place is in the module, which is very curious and is very nice. Cork School of Music, we are like also we work in different aspects of music education, different genres. There is classical, there is traditional, there is jazz, pop. So I think we enrich ourselves in a very great way, in a beautiful way. So, well, this was my part, but just to finish, these are the target groups that we envisioned at the beginning: music teachers or potential teachers, and of course musicians that want to learn about how to, because we know that musicians, 90% of their job comes from education. So we wanted to also to offer them these tools, but also to intermediate beneficiaries, music institutions and organizations, and freelance musicians. And this is like the project overview, and now Karak is going to explain you the research phase.
Hello, my name is Cork Oninon. I'm from MTU Cork School of Music, and as Esther introduced there, we have had previous experience working on a project with Reina Sofia called New Skills for New Artists, and this was all about upskilling recently graduated music students in the area of technology, but also entrepreneurship. And maybe one criticism myself and Esther had, maybe looking back at the project, even though it was a success, was a lot of the materials that we were giving to the students. It was prescriptive in that it was based on what we thought that they wanted, rather than really discussing and learning about what they needed. So to that end, one of the goals of Digital Skills for Music Teachers is that we build a scientific approach to understanding the needs of the music teachers, what they lack and where we can kind of fill in those gaps. So MTU Cork School of Music is leading Work Package 2, a content designed towards a digital literacy framework for music teachers, and it's all about building an evidence-based approach towards curriculum design for music teachers based on 2 main activities. The first is a benchmarking of existing courses that target music teachers, and basically what I've been kind of stuck in for about 1.5 years is building a large-scale mixed method survey to understand what digital skills the music teachers lack and the factors that are blocking the learning of such skills. So a mixed method approach survey involves a quantitative and qualitative aspect, quantitative being numerical. We use online surveys and things like that to find like the strengths of their feeling towards certain things, and then qualitative, which is looking and interviewing the actual personnel. So the quantitative was online Microsoft Form surveys that we distributed amongst the EU partners and the wider EU region, and we had a large response of about 300 music teachers across the EU, and we used Likert scale ratings, so on a scale of 1 to 5, give your confidence in a certain aspect of music tuition, and also some open-ended feedback where they could expand on things that mightn't have been captured numerically. And then we ran descriptive and inferential statistics, which I'll briefly go through in these next slides. Then the qualitative side of it was, getting really the texture of feeling amongst these music teachers, and this was done through a course of semi-structured interviews where we had 30 selected participants, 10 from each participating region. And it being a digital skills for music teachers project, it would be remiss of us not to use all the technological tools available to us in order to speed up this actually quite laborious process. So we used Zoom and Teams auto-transcriptions to automatically transcribe from the video interviews into text. And then we used auto-translate as well with some manual corrections. And then we do thematic analysis on this data in order to unearth the trends and the broad themes that emerge from there. So, see if we can skip. Okay. So, looking at the overall general profile, we see that we have quite a mature sample set amongst our music teachers. Most of the music teachers are above 35 years of age. I'm looking around here. I think some of us are above 35. We have a fairly even gender balance, which is good to see, quite evenly balanced, still with a slight skew towards male. In terms of teaching experience, our teachers are highly qualified. Most of them have a master's postgraduate qualification and above, and they have many years teaching experience, some with even over 20 years teaching, which is quite extraordinary. Let's see if I can go closer to the computer, wherever it is. It's on the back. Here we go. Maybe I'll stand, that might be better. Digital schools, digital techniques, okay. As we can see with the style and specialization, it's overwhelmingly skewed towards Western classical, but maybe reflecting the three institutions that we have in Estonia, Ireland and Spain. There's a healthy representation in folk styles, as we heard this morning. Also, not surprisingly, it's heavily skewed towards instrumental and ensemble performance, but with a fairly even balance across other disciplines as well. So when we dig into the data, we were basically asking broad questions like how confident you are in certain aspects of digital skills, and we have one master kind of control question, which is how confident are you using computers? And we can see, actually surprisingly, most of our music teachers have reported either fairly confident or completely confident regarding their digital skills. But when we actually dig into the four thematic areas under study, we see that it tells a very different story. So we can see how confident are you in terms of royalties, rights management, and intellectual property, which is something of extreme importance to music teachers and music performers, and also the graduating music students, that they understand their own intellectual property rights. We can see that it kind of skews towards the left, indicating less confidence. Then we digged into thematic areas such as online collaboration and how confident they are using communication tools. We can see here we're all fed up of using email, messaging platforms, video conferencing and so on, but more specialized applications for communication and productivity like online forums, interactive tools like Nearpod, using time management and things like that. We can see that, it kind of dips to the left, indicating that maybe the music teachers, number one, are not familiar with these tools, but also that they don't have the time to familiarize with them. They don't have the resources. They don't have that capacity in order to learn these tools. In terms of online safety, it's kind of moving more towards the left across the board here. Important things like identifying phishing and attacks and scams, online bullying, obviously very important aspects that maybe the teachers, again, particularly in Ireland, there are a lot of smaller community-based schools where they don't have the resources, again, they don't have the time, they don't have the procedures and policies in place because the school is so small that they don't have maybe some of those policies in place regarding online bullying and social media awareness. Royalties, rights and IPs, as I said there, depending even on the regions across, so IMRO in Ireland, SGAE in Spain, EAU and EEL in Estonia. Again, our teachers need more guidance and more resources in educating them in these areas. Drilling down into certain digital tools, okay, so music notation software, audio recording tools, video editing, maybe towards some more specialized tools. Again, it's going towards less competent here. Addressing the elephant in the room, AI tools like ChatGPT and so on. We all still have a lot to do in terms of catching up with, number one, the impact that has on our teaching, but also the impact it has on our learning and the students' use of that as we go forward. Hardware tools, again, things, next generation tools like immersive technologies and stuff like that. Teachers are less aware of it. Again, these devices are very highly specialized. They aren't making an impact in the classroom due to their cost. So that was the descriptive statistics where we just looked at the overall trends. We also did some hypothesis testing. So our first hypothesis was maybe looking at the effect of age. So we might hypothesize that maybe some of the older music teachers, some of the more mature teachers who've been teaching a long time might be less confident. And we actually see this in the data here. We see kind of a weak negative correlation indicating that older teachers have less competency in terms of overall online collaboration, but also drilling down into smaller things like music streaming and theory and stuff like that. They're just not familiar with integrating them into the classroom yet. Apologies. Skip forward, skip back. The screen is blocking. Again, this was just repeating the same. So the older our music teachers get, maybe the less their confidence is. We don't need to go into that. Main takeaways. Teachers consider themselves broadly confident in their digital skills, but lack knowledge around copyright, ethics, and online safety. Specialized tools are underutilized for music education. AI is coming, but are we ready? And the next steps, which we are in the midst of at the moment, is our qualitative survey. So our qualitative survey was interviewing our music teachers and really getting more textured and finer granular details around questions. So after a period of negotiation and discussion amongst the partners, we came up with a set of the questions such as these in the particular areas. So for example, in the basic and transversal digital skills for music teachers, we want to know, are there any specific software or online tools that you find particularly useful in your teaching music? What are the barriers and challenges preventing you from adopting new tools and so on? Here are some of the example personas. I think I recognize these from the School of Music. So we have a composer and performer with specialization in experimental music, teaching in UK and Ireland. We have a very experienced viola teacher and conductor who's ingrained in community youth orchestra system with 40 years in our conservatoire. So very diverse, and that's what we were looking for, a diverse bunch of people that we could interview and get a wide scope of data from. And then we did some coding where we found the trends according to certain thematic areas that match into our kind of broad modules and aspects under study. This was an interesting one. This was a music teacher who was very interested in integrating gamification into their teaching and went very in-depth working in programming. And in fact, some of the teachers that we did interview, one particular teacher used gamification in a very simple but effective way, and subsequently we hired her for the project to deliver some of her gamification training. This was, see if I can get back. I'm going to skip through this very quickly. But this was Maria O'Connor, one of her colleagues. As you can see, you might recognize this as Google Sheets, so Google's equivalent of PowerPoint. And she's built kind of very responsive, fun game for learning basic music theory concepts built into Google Sheets. And what I like about this is that there's no programming involved. She built this, just using the power of Google Sheets. It's online, so she can share it with the students afterwards. They can play these games themselves at home, and it's free, and it doesn't require a lot of training. So the pilot curriculum, I'll let the rest talk about that. It ran from March 13th until 3rd of July, and we're just about to kick off the next curriculum, which is hosted on Moodle by University of Tartu. So see, these are some of the learning outcomes in our modules, and again, even when we try and invigorate our online teaching through Zoom, we still have the same problem of black boxes, people with their cameras turned off, and there's nothing we can do about that. But we did start to use some more interactive tools like Mentimeter that we had a lot of fun with, which allows you to kind of do interactive quizzes online through people's phones, and this just checks if people are awake. So that's it. Thank you.
I have my own. I want this awful thing. So I'm going to talk about this training program because, as Esther said, we had an idea at first, then we did some research, and then we found out what are the weak spots and what needs to be improved. So we have run first cohort of this training program. It took place in the spring, and we had over 30 participants from Estonia, Spain, and Ireland, as you would guess. Very various backgrounds, mostly instrument teachers were those who participated in the course. And as we are 4 partners, we had also 4 modules, and each module was taught by different institution. So module 1 was called Safety and Ethics for Music Teachers, and you can see here some contents, and it was taught by Grupo Tex from Spain. Ivan is not here, but he's coming. So as you can see, this module covers those royalties, rights, IP, that kind of themes that came out from the survey as weak, the weakest places, as I would say. Module 2, taught by Reina Sofia, School of Music from Madrid, and Esther and her colleagues, and was concentrating on this collaborating tools which you can use whether you're communicating with the students or teacher or parents, for example, also, but also some skills for how to visually design your things and how to make more productive and manage time through these digital skills. Third module was taught by Viljandi Culture Academy, and it was concentrating on online pedagogy, how to teach online or how to use digital tools through web to teach your students. But it also, we had topics like how to reflect on your teaching and studies, and how to make assignments which are meaningful. So also this kind of general pedagogical skills. And fourth module was taught by Munster Technological University in Ireland and concentrated on very specific digital skills like gamification, for example, or AI tools, and also sound editing and so on. What participants valued in our first program was that actually, as you have all participated in some courses, and I would say that it's the same all the time, that the most valuable is the possibility to share your own experiences with other participants, and to learn from them, actually. So, and that was also something that our group very much brought out that the most valuable was to see that people from Spain, Ireland and Estonia have same problems and also they can be solved. So that was the main thing. But they also very highly valued all the modules, I would say, because participants said that they got new information from all 4 modules. And of course we are very pleased and encouraged, and we are starting second phase. So this training program is going to be repeated very soon. Call is out. You can find it in our DISC website. You can register, and this time we made the program a bit shorter. It means that it doesn't take so much your time, but there is still almost the same content. So we have also approved our own digital skills and made some online content more. But there are also meetings online, which will be fun and nice, I think. But the course is free of charge for everyone around the world, actually. And if you graduate, you will get a certificate by University of Tartu that you have graduated from this course. So feel free to register and participate. So some overview of this new course. But mostly I would say thank you for your time and any questions from the audience. If you have, Kendra can bring the mic right away if you have some questions or comments or just.
I was curious about.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This work looks really amazing in the scope. And I was curious to know of each country how teachers approach creating their own materials for the lessons, because you showed very interesting and creative method that some teacher created in PowerPoint. So in Latvia, where we come from, there is a guideline that you should impose, but you're free to create your own materials, and the books actually are starting to be done only recently. So I was curious to know, in your countries, is it also expected from the teacher not only to teach, but to also create materials to teach? And it is such a big amount of work and prepare the lessons. So any comments on that?
I can start with Estonia maybe. Yes, it's there is no kind of official rules how this material should be done, or I think that every teacher is free to do it. Our course was mostly about this online teaching and digital tools, but I would say that it's not demanded from the teachers to create these materials, but if teachers understand that sometimes it makes their life easier, they are more willing to create them as well. And another aspect is that in Estonia, at least, there has been several programs which fund the creation of this digital materials. So that's one strong motivation, I think, for the teachers to create them, because if you get some extra funding, then this tool is in the future useful for you and for your colleagues as well. But maybe Irish and Spanish perspective.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same in Ireland, in my institution. And basically, well, I teach two courses. I teach kind of music ear training and undergraduate, and there isn't really any materials for this. I just make sure they come to class and participate. But on my master's courses, it depends on the course. One of the courses is it's all about listening and discussion. So we just listen to a lot of materials in class. We have discussion and things like that. Then some of the more technical hands-on approaches, I'll usually create slides, if only so, like, you know, I can remember each year what I taught last year. But it's initially when we start a new course, we have to devise the learning outcomes, as you probably know, attach that to the credits. That needs to go to programmatic review, and this happens every 4 or 5 years. Then we create the materials on Canvas, and Canvas is kind of a Moodle equivalent that we use in our institution. But again, yeah, it really varies from lecture to lecture, and it's not. There's no one size fits all approach. The problem I have is trying to keep the materials up to date every year, particularly with technology moving so fast. So.
The same. There is not a policy or something like that forces teachers to design this kind of content. What we observed is that the more, I'm going to use a word that is not despective, the more peripheric the teacher is, the better the content is. The more powerful the institution is or the subject this person teaches, the less material there is. Let's say piano teaching in an important institution, the piano teacher doesn't prepare anything, comes, sit down, you play and I listen, right? And then a freelance teacher in some rural area teaching theory or teaching your training, teaching some kind of subject that is not that valued by the system, let's say, you find amazing things. We interviewed one teacher, one of the interviews we did in Spain. I was completely overwhelmed by the preparation and the motivation to really meet learning objectives, to meet the needs of the students and to prepare and facilitate the lessons the better, and to really be super creative thinking, how can I make my students work at home in theory or year training or whatever, right? So I think this is it. I don't know if this is the same in the other countries.
No, maybe yes, but Estonia is so small that there are difficult to distinguish this peripherical and but maybe that's I think in the classical musical it's less definitely to use of these digital tools, because actually this is something that we are soon heading to the coffee break. It's downstairs in the cafeteria, but after the coffee break, 15 minutes past 11, we have a very interesting masterclass by Agnese Rakovska, because I think that it shows very well the same topic, that music has changed a lot during the last decades, and how music is made has changed a lot, but we are still pretty much teaching music very much in an old way, and that's the thing actually that we want with this project. And I think with what Agnese will show pretty soon, that we have to adapt with the future and nowadays students' interests and needs. So we have to bring these things into education, which is actually they are seeing in the real music. So of course I'm not advocate for skipping the traditional instrument playing or teaching, but there should be something else to give this student interest and some intellectual, I don't know, fun when dealing with music in the classroom, whether it's a general school or whether it's a music school. So I think the same with the materials. So we can hold on this very old-fashioned way, but then we have very big trouble of losing some students in some point of their way in the musical journey, because they don't see this connection with the world they are currently living.
You told everything, so...
Thank you. So let's go to have a coffee. You're all welcome, and please do not go anywhere, and let's meet here like 15 minutes past 11 to see this, what I just told. Welcome back. And we have had coffee breaks, those who are in the room. But I hope that there is still people online watching us, because I think more exciting part is still coming. But first, I'm very honored to welcome Spanish ambassador in Estonia, Guillermo Javier Corral Van Dam, here to welcome you all and say some words. So please.
Thank you, Tere. Good morning. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to come back to Viljandi. I always say it's definitely one of my favorite cities in Estonia. I mean, it's for many reasons. I mean, just starting obviously with its landscape that is different to what you find in many other places in this country. And also I really feel it's a very romantic city. I mean, I haven't lived here, but I've been here many times, and I guess you would agree with this the fantastic castle and the ruins and the lake. It's a beautiful place. So it's always a pleasure to come, even if the day is not the brightest. But it is autumn, so we know what to expect. And and also thanks for being part of this project. I mean, it's great for me to see that there's this joint collaboration in a project originally led by the Reina Sofia School from Spain, which is really a very, very prestigious school, and I'm really happy to see that we have this triangulation between Spain, Estonia, and Ireland. Of course, as an ambassador, as an embassy here, this is precisely the kind of things we want to promote, we want to see. We want more interaction, we want deeper connections. Obviously, the relationship between Spain and Estonia is basically, I mean, what can I say? It's basically great. I mean, we don't have any conflicting issues. We have a very strong commitment to each other. I mean, I don't know, you belong to a field that it's a bit, thanks God, it's a bit far from the, how I say, the more pressing political issues, but maybe you're aware that Spain has a strong, almost permanent military presence in this country. Our planes have been here, our ships have been here. We currently have, we are providing air defense to Estonia. I mean, I know this is not as interesting or as nice a topic as music, but unfortunately we live in difficult times, and I mean, I need to stress that Spain is an ally, and we're firmly committed to the security of our friends and partners as Estonia. But of course, we look forward to go beyond that and to have more projects that create really deep connections. Estonia, and of course, this particular project taps into one of the strengths of this country. I mean, Estonia has a well-deserved reputation for being a digital powerhouse. You know it. I mean, you have led the way in many fields, e-government, of course, but also startups and quite a number of spheres. All our lives are digital nowadays, and the arts are totally impacted by the digital world in so many senses. We're just discussing with the organizer, with Ivan Korbat from DEX. I mean, the impact of AI is going to be terrible. We don't know what's going to happen, but of course, the whole way that culture is conceived, produced, distributed has already changed drastically in the last 20 years. And we can anticipate that what is coming is going to be even a bigger transformation. So, I mean, this is definitely the most pressing topic. I really hope you'll all enjoy this program, that new connections will be made, that people studying and working at this fantastic academy here in Viljandi will think of Spain, and of course of Ireland as you know, as partners, and will enlarge your scope a little bit, that everybody will learn from each other, and that this program will have a continuity. By the way, I should say that Spain has, or the embassy at least has also a close connection to this academy, of course to the University of Tartu, where we have a very strong Spanish department, but in particular to this music academy. As you know, previous director Iñaki Sandoval was a Spanish pianist, and I know that my predecessor, the previous ambassador, was here many times. So I'm really honored to keep up with this tradition, and I wish you a fantastic program today and tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And before we are going to the master class, I want to thank everyone who have contributed to make today happen. Of course, thank you Esther, Laura, Karah, and Temuri for being in the project. Thank you, Jonathan and Chris, who are not here right now, but Jonathan is, and Tauno, to make everything technically perfect. And last and not at all least, Krista and Kendra, who has actually made huge job to make today happen, and thought about every detail during today, what can happen and what will happen. So thank you very, very much. And it's good that we have more participants coming, because now we are ready for Agnese, and I already made some introduction, but Agnese will do it anyway. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Good day, everybody. I think we can take this mic stand. We will not need it. And I'm actually very excited to be here in Viljandi. This city is so amazing. It's so beautiful. And every time I come to Estonia, I am a little bit envious, because I come to Estonia twice, 3 times a year, and I always say to my friends, why does everything is a little bit better in Estonia always? And I'm so curious to know your way of thinking. I think you have a very interesting perspective on the future. You as ambassador said, don't need to prove yourselves. You are going further with your ideas, and you are my inspiration. So I'm very happy to be here today. So I would like to share our project. It has been in the making for the last 2 years now, and it has been an uphill battle, I must say. So the construction of education is very social for me, and I believe that every country has to think about the content of the education, so it has to be connected to the industry, and it has to be competitive, because if we will not mentor this process, we might lose the people, and the new generation has different needs, and the industry feels that it needs more creativity, more competence in the creative field, and I wouldn't want to see that there is a segregation in the education, because as you see this table, it has a lot of different contents, and they all cost a lot of money, and I wouldn't want to think that only kids whose parents are wealthy and rich can afford to have their kid work on this station. So, as I want to emphasize, education is a social construct, and we have to make accessibility to technology and information for every kid in the country. And this is how I want to change the landscape of my industry in Latvia. And I am a musician myself, so the intro goes like this. I'm a musician myself, and 15 years in the industry has gained me a lot of knowledge. What is creativity? What is songwriting? What is stepping on Eurovision stage and experiencing the most powerful stress you can imagine? And then it goes back, what can I give to my community? What can I share? What is my knowledge? And when I started Constellation, my agency, we built this cube that in 3 years has traveled to 60 cities in Latvia. And when it opened up, it gave space for kids to experience music and creating music on board. And it had this little station there. And every time the cube closed, I was very sad because I didn't want to take this away from them because they enjoyed so much. And I think this was the point where I thought, but I could leave the station in their school maybe. How would it go further? And sometimes those friends of mine, they say, Agnes, there will be one day when you will have your own school. Don't be sad. It's okay. You can make your own school. But this would be only one school. But there are so many schools already in place. What I want to say, the infrastructure is already there. The system is already there. How can we rethink education? And this was the formula that was in Tallinn Music Week when I visited Tallinn in April. And every country here has the challenge to rethink education, not only music education, education in general. So the hamburger in education right now consists of not only basic analog skills, the digital skills, and then comes the artificial intelligence on top. So we don't want to eliminate anything. I only want to suggest that you have to put the next layer and have the canvas and have the be prepared for the industry that awaits you. So as I said, this is my stage presence, so this is how I look on the stage. But my aim is to shorten the bridge between industry and education. This is my only perspective. I need more colleagues. I need more cool people to work with in the industry. I need more interesting innovations. And I'm not talking about export, about female who is singing on the stage. I'm thinking about music-related products. Sweden created Spotify, and Estonia has their success stories. And I want more success stories from Latvia to change the global industry in general. So, if you want, you can take this book around, but please give it back. It's very important for me. So this is a very interesting book. And what I want to say that everything that I will tell you today is not innovation, because I can't call microphone or sound card or computer innovation, right? But in my country right now, this is quite innovative. And I find that's quite sad. So I would like to speed up the process. I would like to have more energy towards this, because this is not even innovation. This is just dealing with the consequences of the past, you know. And there was this comment from somebody, how can nothing has changed in the music cabinet for so much years? When I finished school right now, nothing has changed in this cabinet. And this is problematic for me. So please feel free to check this book. It's Technology and Music Education. A lot of interesting case studies, so you can check it out. And I will reference this book quite a lot. And this book was given to me by a very great friend of mine. Erica Synth is a company from Latvia. They create analog synthesizers. It is a global niche that they have conquered pretty well, and we are very proud of this company. Their gear is used by very prominent musicians, so this is what I'm saying, music-related products. So Dirts gave me this book, and this concluded that music is truly a STEAM project. It concludes that it has literature, it has sound physics, it has biology on this table, water, and of course creativity in general. So I see that this industry is not only about notes and singing. It's something much, much wider. So I hope you will see this in the process. And the problems that I had with the situation was that the content in school was very theoretical. And these kids nowadays, they want to be practical, they want to touch things, they need sensory instruments. So I wanted to have more hands on the Bach or Mozart. Don't care when he died, when he lived. I want to make beats with Mozart. I want to make audiobook with Mozart. What can I do with Mozart? So doing and having activity with classical values. So the issues with teachers and their salaries and the prestige of the professors is very important in Latvia, so I will continue on that more. Sustainability of the industry is directly connected to this process. I believe that the industry starts in education system. Many big companies in Latvia had CEOs, they say, yes, systematic approach in school is already where it begins, so we have to start in the school. So the STEAM approach, as I said, this will be the place where different things will meet, and in Latvia, music is kind of a nice-to-have thing. It's nice to have. I have some schools in Latvia that don't have music cabinets. Teachers take their synthesizers and like street musician goes to class, you know, and entertains the students. I find that disappointing. I find that sad, because I say to the director, do you have physics classroom? Yes. Do you have mathematics classroom? Yes. But you don't have music classroom? No. So it's prioritization, and my industry, my subject is not prioritized. So I'm very angry on that. I'm joking, but it truly makes me sad. So my strategy, of course, I look forward for Sweden. Sweden is one of the top countries that produces music with a great gross value. I'm talking about money value, about business value. I really love the way Sweden is thinking, approaching music. They are very conservative and libertarian on the scale. They're very libertarian, so they are very open to everything, always. And in many cases, this has been the success of their education system as well. When I was in Royal College of Music, looking how they're teaching stuff, my friend, she says, in masters, we also learned how to code homepages. And I was like, you learn production and music, but programming homepages, what is going on here? And she says, yes, Agnes, but it's normal. Don't you know that the gaming industry is very big? And I say, how big? She says, it's 5 times bigger than singing and movies and pop music. It's 5 times bigger than that combined. So the Swedish people understand this correlation very much. So I try to take the best examples, of course, from these powerhouses. And of course, Estonia as well. So the education, one more time, it has to be the social construct. And bullfrog on the table, you will have the ability to touch it and squeeze it. It is created in Latvia. So we have not only created the ecosystem of the project, but we also make gear that is on this table, music-related product, and this analog synthesizer specifically designed for education system. It is color-coded, and I will touch upon it later, but we try to push physics through music, and we love how it resonates. And the sad part, the paradox of my country, so you understand my problematic. In Latvia, we are capable of creating products with export value, but only 14 bullfrogs that are sold in Latvia are sold by Constellation project to schools by me. And this is what I find also sad, that we create products for other country kids in America, in Germany, in Finland, but Latvian auditorium doesn't even know that it exists. So this is very paradoxical for me. And I want Latvian kids to be the first to touch the product that is created in its country. So we are talking about educating the auditorium. And so the first thing when I thought about this was like, what can I do? What is the next step? I have this thing inside, so I called one school director. I said, hey, I have all this in my office. Can I come to school with my great friend Matis? And I want to conduct a music lesson as I feel it should be conducted. And she said, yes, Agnes, please come. Take the kids, take the class, do whatever you want. So I came to the class and we started to work with the kids. And of course, I understood that it works and the kids love it. They love this approach. They're interested in it. One more interesting thing, in my industry, mainly it is made of men. A large portion of the industry in creative side is men dominated, sound engineers, music producers, etc. So for me, the correlation in the classroom would be logical that the male, the boys, would be really interested in music, right? But we don't see this, because sometimes in 7th grade, the teacher says to a boy who has maybe some vocal changes going on, the puberty, the hormones and everything, now please sing. And it's very confronting, and it can give you a pushback of, I'm not good enough for this, this is not for me, this is not my case. And as I said, I'm interested in education system in general, where everybody meets. The kids from better families, not so good families, and it has to be very inclusive. So when you show wires to a boy in 8th grade, he quickly understands what is this. So I want every person in the classroom find its place in the music world. And I know that it exists because I know how music speaks to your heart, right? So everybody is designed for creativity. We just have to create this environment so it can enchant, yes? So we have done some pilot studies in our schools. We have visited schools, talked to directors, school principal, municipalities, representatives, parents. Here you can see we are with Matisse, working with the kids. We have gained some very good partnership with 2 major sister organizations in Latvia. They're called Laipa and Akala. They are representing the legal thing out. Performance rights and, I forgot the word, yes? Royalties and everything with the author work, yeah? So they are very interested in this project because they understand that the station will create more people who will create. And if they can create, they have something to work with, yes? Because I'm also a member of these 2 organizations, and I'm an author, I'm a performer, so they collect my money from radio stations and everywhere. So if there is no new stuff coming out, they have nothing to work with. So it is a long-term thinking, yes? And right now we are having 14 of these stations in schools all over Latvia. 7 are coming up, so by the end of the year we will have 21 schools fully developed at this station. In Latvia we have around 600 schools, and my mission will be complete when every school in Latvia in the smallest district will have a station. So right now we have also teachers who are learning how to work with the station, and one teacher is here. I will later show how this teacher looks, and she will give her feedback on how this course impacted her life, because it's a very dynamic and heavy course, I must say. So, as you see, we have also different problematic systems in place, because mainly the government entities and municipalities, they want this project, they understand the benefits, but there is no teacher. So we are lacking teachers hard. It's also in different other subjects, music as well. So this is also about teaching prestige, how prestigious is being a teacher, yes? Sometimes there is also not enough budget, but this is a very small, minor problem. A lot of people are willing to do this already, and they sometimes take longer to consider the offer, but because municipality work is very long-term budgeting. So here you can see a very dynamic teacher from Jēkabpils, and she says, Agnes, I love this, but I'm exhausted. Emotional skills, emotional capability of managing your work, it's very important. She said, Agnes, I love it, but I can't. I'm exhausted, yeah? So, very problematic thing. So, the most important thing in the project is the teacher. Municipality can have money, everybody can have computers, go to the store, buy the computer. If there is no teacher in place, nothing will happen. The teacher is the key reference to this system. So teacher has to be well-fed, good salary, well-educated, bouncy, creative, interested in life, powerhouse, powerful, influencer, social management star, everything today, yes? So we really focus on teacher and we try to build the world around the teacher. And also the workstation. So we educate the teacher and we said the municipality, buy these items for the station. 2 sections of the project. When the teacher has this class, this one station goes in the class. If there are 25 kids in the class, 3 kids, maybe 4, can work on this station. They have these earphones and they can work on the project and not bother the other class. If they need any help, they raise the hand, the teacher comes, helps, but usually it's a very self-conductive process. And I have to say, speaking about digital skills, this course that we have created for 36 hours, 5 intensive days for teacher, when we work with kids, they learn this in 4 hours. So I really want to have a nice, maybe statistical data about also this thing, because the amount of time these young kids take to learn new skills is incredible, yes? So we really have to make teacher comfortable and prepare him for this, because it's very stressful. And imagine if the middle-aged teacher in Latvia is 45 years plus. Learning new skills in any age is difficult, but as you age, it gets more difficult. And some teachers lack digital skills in general. Plus, we are uploading, now record audio file, now record the MIDI file. And the teacher is like, help, SOS, get me out of here. Agnes, you're crazy. I say, no, it's okay. Let's take more time, yeah? So in general, we have 33 lessons in 1 year. So the kid will rotate through the station in this year 4 times. This is not very much, but it is not 0, so it's good for me. Next time, I will push 2 stations, so it will increase to 8. And this is how we start the project. So this is the very good practice example, because sometimes I say to teachers, this will be in your classroom. And the teacher says, but how? Maybe we should put somewhere else. And I say, but look, there is zone, and there is theoretical zone, and there is practical zone. So we try to implement these best practices from Scandinavia as well, Finland in general. And I try to say to teachers, it's okay, it can be zoned, yeah? You don't have to be like square all the time. So it's also very important to think about the atmosphere in the class. And I must say, some schools doesn't have changed the linoleum since World War II. It's very bad in some schools. So the ecosystem of the project, I think, is the main focal point of this session today, because we can all talk about computers and MIDI controllers and how we make sound, and we will do it later in the practical side. And after this session, I want really everybody just to come, touch it, and do it, and ask any random questions. But I think that if we look at this from a wider perspective, every project is more complex than just buying the gear. Because you can buy the computer today, but what do you do with the computer in the class? How you use it in the class? Why do you use it in the class? Why is this interesting and relevant? So there is some certain expertise going on why I chose this instrument over other instrument. What I'm trying to say, technological usage must be, it shouldn't be just playing and having fun and games. It has to have methodological side, curriculum that is based on government strategies, yes? So the ecosystem of the project is quite complex. And in the center, of course, there is a student who needs all this knowledge. So we start by providing the project management with communication and to get all these stations ready. So we have a lot of suppliers. We try to choose the best things that are standing on this table, and this takes quite a lot of time. So we have a separate person that only responsible for this kind of thing. We also had one very interesting case in Latvia where we said, here is the things you need to buy, please buy this, because every project management requires some extra money, you know. If there's a salary and a person who does it, it's like a service. So we say, don't pay us, but please buy what we say. Do it on your own. And we had a very bad experience when this person who is lacking knowledge in these specific things, the store just gave him the most random things ever. And when I went to the school, I said, what is this? I can't complete it. It's not working. So what I'm trying to say, the members from the project, the scalability of the project is very important. I can't emphasize this enough, because if those teachers come to my class and they learn how to work with this, when they go to class, they need the same material, because it's very stressful to learn other kind of things. And this, what I want to say, is something of a very systematic approach. It can be scalable. It is scalable already. And the next step of the systematic scalability is the ability to give atzīmes, the vērtējums, grades, yes? So you can grade the person. And you know that this person, if it's the same in one city, it will be the same in the second city. So I don't want a deviation from the system. I want it to be very systematic, yes? It's very important for me. So here you also can see that we work very closely with state, with government, culture ministry, education ministry, external projects such as Romania-Sweden project. We also very closely work with private sector that sometimes donates money to schools that lack this budgeting. And right now we are trying to approach, and we have very good communication with the Academy of Music in Riga, Jāzeps Vītola muusikaõpetajale, and they want to integrate this 36-hour course in their teacher curriculum, so the teachers come out of the academy fully equipped with technological ideas, yes? So right now we are grabbing teachers and asking if they want to come and learn, you know? So we are trying to catch the train that has left the station. It's very interesting. Okay. So, of course, we are preparing mentors. Matis is my assistant and one of the mentors. So, again, it has to be systematic. If Matis is conducting a class, I want to approach the teacher and say, do you know what is the difference between compressor and equalizer? And she has to reply. And I want to have this reply because it's in our curriculum and he has to know what he has to deliver. Yeah, so very systematic. So introduction course for students, as I said, what takes 36 hours for teachers, the kids learn in 4 hours. Development of methodological material, it is around 100-page book developed for kids when they go into classroom, opened the theme. The themes are conducted by the government entities and the content that is mandatory. So we adapt this to work with technology. For instance, today in the practical side, Matis will conduct an experiment and they will make audiobook. A very famous Latvian writer, Anna Sakse, and Arvo Pärt will communicate together and we will see how it works. So this is just an example on how you can work on things. One of the many exercises. This takes around half a year and it is powered and financed by the 2 sister entities I mentioned. Right now we are working on 8th grade and 7th grade. So we will be completing the process by the end of the May and our curriculum for our school will be finished. Next would be the high school, but this is another topic. We have also created virtual content for support system because sometimes teachers film something and say, why are you filming? Everything is online. You can check everything. We have made in Latvian and it is made by 16-year girl and I, in the first place, made this for students because here you see QR code and if somebody forgets something, they can go on this page and, oh, how to connect this, you know? And I thought to myself that boys in 15 years old would be very envious that this girl can manage and produce, you know, so I was very interested to see the results. So right now the system is used by teachers who learn and students in the class. So we also try to think about the other circles around the project, and this is PR and campaigning. We took these cool teachers that have studied, and we fashioned them up with Academy of Arts. This is actually a dress from one of the designers. It is a recycled t-shirt dress. And we want to say that music is a creative process. It's also theoretical. You have to know solfeggio, but it's creative, okay? So these are how these teachers look, and they're creative and colorful and interesting. So we had the PR campaign, outdoors, advertisement, and we wanted to say, hi, from 1st September, we congratulate you, we value you. And this is something that I heard in Finland, that people love teachers. They understand that they are the mentors for their kids for the future. And in Latvia, sometimes parents are very bullying and very demanding, and we hear some bad stories about we deserve this and we deserve that. The teacher is this connector, and we really want to emphasize the importance of this personality of the teacher. So we also try to work very hard on social media, because our auditorium lives on TikTok and Instagram, so we make a lot of content on these platforms as well. And twice a year we make mandatory, it is in our contract with schools, 2 mandatory events that they have to come. Every school packs up their station, we go to a certain location, everybody puts their stations up, and they compete and they make music. So we call it Music Hackathon. And I want to have a hackathon in Arena Riga, when we will have 100 schools, and they will compete and not play video games, but to make music. So this is my big time life goal moment. So this is how it structures, this is how I see it right now. So I just wanted to emphasize that it is a multidisciplinary process, and it takes a lot of stakeholder matrix participation, and if you want to be on the same page with the government and work fast and effective, then you have to fill out all these gaps. So here you also maybe want to know that we have a very good sign from Culture Ministry. Recently they adapted popular music strategy. It's kind of important because it very well resonates with what we have on the table. So in general, I believe that Culture Ministry says, we have a strategy, let's go this way. And the Education Ministry takes this in place and say, okay, we will try to prepare these kids to go there. So this is a good sign. I value this a lot, because the strategy says that we need to promote and develop new education that is aimed for this creative industry. And we want to enhance diversity, and everything that is on this table correlates very much. So this is a very big bonus for us. So Riga, our capital city, is very pro-STEAM approach. As you see, we are the one of these members of a cluster of organizations that try to bring STEAM education in Riga. So we are very proud that our capital tries to push forward, and now Riga will have 4 schools that are implementing this technology, and we tried to raise the questions about pedagogical challenges, the issue of the teacher shortage, and of course just to be in the same bubble and to make some valid points. So, as I said, 2 sister companies, Akala for outdoors, Laipa for producers and musicians. So, we also have very cool experts in our project. Irene Nelson writes a lot of books, and she is always checking and making sure that our methodological material is intact with what is needed from the official side. Because as you see, I'm very creative, I'm very practical, and it's just, oh, you have to like this, this will be better, okay? So we have a great team, and Marit Seele is our ex-education minister, and she is very great person to give advice, and I learn very good tips from her, and she tries to push this project further. She has had great experience with physics teaching. As I said, we have lacking of teachers. So they were preparing methodological material. If the teacher is not in the school, anybody can come into the class, take this material, and conduct a physics lesson. Of course, it's crazy. It sounds crazy. But the situation is crazy. If there is no teacher in place, what should you do? Yeah? So we're really trying to understand how to elaborate, and maybe the auditorium has some cool ideas how to get this problem solved, you know, because I can create the best project in the world, but if there is no teacher in the class to do it, it's done, it's finished, yes? And then there's this other bad process about segregation, which I don't want to even talk about. So here you can see the Music Teacher Association president, Ruth Kanteroku, was visiting, and as I wanted to point out, these all 5 stressful days, teachers are coming to our facilities and learning everything you see on this table. How the DAW system works, what is the ability to use audio files, MIDI files, what is the connection of sound physics with analog synthesizers, songwriting methods, etc. So we really try to be very sensitive. So this is the digital virtual content I was talking about. It's in our homepage, so you can see everything from the topics about MIDI, about sharing the files, etc. Very simple language, very understandable. So, as I said, the hackathons are very important for me. We had the first hackathon. Here you see the kids, and they're very excited. Who's gonna win? Who will make the best song? And we have discussion panels, and this is how the stations look. And then the winners go out, and it's like 12 points go to this school. So it's a very cultural, big, nice bubble that I really want to cultivate. And I'm looking forward for international hackathons, hopefully with Estonia. So here you see all these kids from schools, one station, other station, and this is how they work, and they're very challenged, and they want to produce the best they can. So here you see the social education campaign for the teachers. Baiba is not only a music teacher, but also director of one school. Ilse from Tukums, and Olita, she says, I'm quite a senior teacher, don't expect a lot from me, Agnes, but I think these women are very powerful, strong, fierce, and I want the people to recognize this. Yes, so the hackathon also is supported by my industry, musicians, my fellow colleagues, hip-hop artists, musicians, producers, guitarists, and very prominent musicians. So we want to show that they are waiting for these kids. We are waiting for these kids to come and be in the industry. And it's also important, I said, every small school and every small district. Because Latvia, and I think Estonia as well, we are small countries, and I think we can't afford to miss out on talent. What I mean by this is that our population is so small that we really have to touch every kid and see, are you talented? Do you have the spark? Do you want to be here? Come on, let's try. Maybe you will succeed. So we don't know, maybe somewhere in Latgale, in my country, yes, next Max Martin lives. I don't know. And I will never know if I will not expose every kid to this station, you know? So I want to collect these talents, these bright kids. I have to collect them from and scrape them from all of the country's smallest parts, yes? So that is the philosophy of Constellation in general. It's like a network, yeah? So Riga is great capital, but what happens when you go outside Riga? And here you can see some also technical, maybe if you ask about financial, how much does it cost? So here you can see that the project is very big, and one station usually goes for this municipality, and you can try to evaluate, is it a big sum for school, is it not a big sum? And as I said, the biggest issue always is the teacher. So here you can see one of the projects that we made for writing these curriculums, and it's also very, very time-consuming and very formal. So very boring part of the project. So the future for me looks very interesting because I would like to make more connections with interesting people from other countries. And as I said, my experience with Tallinn Music Week was amazing, and we were happy to talk about the issues that are relevant. And we are now currently signing a project with Romania and Sweden. I'm very excited to be in this and think about the future possibilities. And the next step would be also to conclude the school curriculum for the high school as well. And when we will finish with simple system of the school, we will go to music school. Why? Because my resource is it is what it is. And I have 2 hands and 2 legs, so when I finish the simple school system, I will go to music school system. Because music school system is more deeper knowledge, solfeggio, it's more specific, and the curriculum is totally different from music schools. So it can't be quite easily replicated, yes? So we have to take that in mind. So, yes, we also want to, yes, just to show a little bit more how this strategy from the government side looks. What are these goals? What should they learn? What is the aim of this? And this is how this material looks when you press on this button. Then there's a 100-page material that needs to be used in the classroom. So wanted to share some photos of a very important milestone, and it was in Sigulda. Siguld was the first school which adapted this station, and it wasn't bought by government, it was bought by mother who sent out 30 letters to business owners, and they gave money to buy this station. So sometimes you need this world that takes, like, yes, it was in the book by, yes, give hands and the world will help, yeah? So sometimes it happens like that. So this was a very pivotal moment for us. I was very sentimental because this project was really, really very hard. And sometimes I was even questioning, what am I even doing, you know? But I'm very happy that my team is very powerful. I'm getting emotional already. And I have my friends today here. I will introduce them to you as well. And what I want to say that you can't do it on your own just like that. And this is a very, very important photo. This is our Minister of Education right now. And this is one of our teachers, Evi, and she was also one of the graduates from the first course. And she has her station. And one day, Education Minister was visiting her school, and Evi was just learning one time the station, and she dragged out the microphone, she gave Minister the book, and she says, we're going to make an audio book, let's go, let's record the book. And when I saw this picture, I was so shocked, I was so excited, I was so happy, because this is the profile of a teacher, that there is no age, no mindset problems, no, I can't do this. She just put on the microphone, recorded Minister of Education, and did her job well, you know. So I'm very, very proud. I'm looking forward that every teacher in Latvia will be like Evija. Of course, today we have one other very dynamic teacher with us, and I will introduce you to Baiba, and then we will take over to the next part of our workshop. So yes, this is a very nice picture. Everybody are very happy. And now we will take the practical side. So the practical side, the technical components of the station. So Matis, maybe I can ask you to join, make a little bit of adaptation. So I'm not the best player in the world, so apologies, but I will try to show you this instrument. So if you take out this little knob, seems like a simple flute, right? Nothing special. But If I put in this little knob, it will turn into a MIDI controller. So MIDI controllers are very interesting things because they control the virtual instruments in my DAW station. When we work with teachers, we choose Logic because I find that Logic from all programs that I know is the most friendly for this auditorium. Mind the digital skills of the teachers. One more time, yes? So I'll try to demonstrate. Here on this panel here, maybe I will put it like this a little bit so you can see, but as I said, you will be able to touch it and feel this. This is Erica Synth Bullfrog, and actually better put it on the table. I'll put a sequencer in, and sometimes, yeah. So we can try to speak about the hertz, the frequencies, the decibels, the sequence, the rhythmical patterns. And we can try to discover the world of sound design. And these components are very well prepared. As you see, we also have an apple here. Maybe I can ask somebody, the ambassador maybe. Maybe ambassador, you could come and plug this apple into this wire. Mattis will assist you. So with great applause, ambassador will show the biology side, yeah? So yeah, just try to plug this apple to the cord and you will see how the apple will make some sounds. What I'm trying to tell you that these components are very well put together, so they make some content and that it has some use with a specific theme that is required in each grade. So this station is from the 7th grade and up, and while they are plugging the apple to the computer, I would also want to invite for a small conversation Baiba Rudzīte with big applause. Baiba is one of our top teachers. She's very dynamic, very inspiring, and maybe
Hi,
Baiba,
everyone.
yes, maybe you can share in the beginning what was your biggest challenges where you were studying all this in Zvaigznājs?
Everything. You know, I'm not the youngest teacher. Also, I'm not the oldest teacher in Latvia. But of course, when I graduated academy, there was no technology, and I was typical normal music teacher for simple schools. So when I started to work at school again after my kids 3 years ago, it was pretty challenging because there was a change of system in Latvia and there was no books. And when Agnese, I don't remember how, but somehow we met each other, and Agnese told about this system, this station. I said, of course, yes. I don't know what is going to happen with me, but I'm in it totally, because my goal was not interested in myself, but in kids. And I usually say the most creative kids are those whose teachers are the most laziest. And that's a story about me. I wanted to make the class for kids, for students, not for myself. I wanted them to be interested in music, to be and Agnes's platform helped a lot.
So maybe you can touch also a little bit on your platform, because the team from the project, you mentioned these creative exercises that teachers are creating, and actually Päeva has created a whole system which is digitally available, and maybe you can touch upon that as well.
Yes, you told that teachers are making their own materials for them to make easier their like lessons. 2 years ago, I was like going crazy a little bit because there was no material, there was no books, and I had to do it all by myself. And I had 14 classes, different ages, in every class 25 to 30 students. So it was pretty much, as you know. And I decided to put everything together what I made and make my life easier at work with students. And I made the web page, a platform for studies, and it includes all the theoretical material, the tasks. The kids can make the tasks, they can self-check themselves and speak about problems and about composers and about styles and make different kind of projects. Everything is in here. For example, teacher when comes to school, she or he opens this on the board, on the digital board, and it goes like a book. It's pretty easy to use for teachers, and everything is inside of it. And it was like normal, next level to put something more, because all the time I wanted something more. And then Agnese showed me the station, and I said, yes, of course I want it in my class. And you know what's the biggest goal of this is? When you have digitalized all the theoretical material here, and you have this really great digital station in the one classroom with 25 people in there, you are not anymore a simple teacher, you are a mentor in there. Because you can give the students availability to be self-directed, self-conducting, yeah, the lesson, the studies. And you are a mentor. You can go work and help those who are studying here, the theoretical material. And of course, you have time to go and help those who are maybe they have some questions about the station. So for me, it's really easy. Of course, it was 2 years a pretty tough job, but now I can say that's why I can be here. My colleague is taking over the web page and working instead of me, so I'm here and I can tell you about our experience in my school.
And this is also a case if sometimes there is a teacher missing, you can come into the class, you can open up a certain lesson, and you can conduct and bring this teaching to life. So right now I would like Päeva to join Matis at the station, and while we will have some questions and maybe discussions, I would ask you to make a creative job, and it would be an audio book small fragment. As I said, we have brought Anna Saksa with her wonderful stories about flowers, and you could make a wonderful voice recording, and let's see how it will stick together with Estonian classic magnificence, Arvo part, and let's see how will it go. So while the team is working, maybe you have some questions or comments, because I myself I'm quite like, it's a masterclass. I'm not sure if it's a masterclass. I would like to more have a discussion, because this is a very fluid project. It is patient zero for me, and every next step I'm taking, I'm like, oh, okay, I can step here. And then the next step. So this project is moving forward like that. And it's error, trial, and this little thing for teachers, what we teach teachers, I have corrected like 50 times, I think. And every time new teacher comes in, oh, this doesn't work. Oh, I have to correct it. Oh, this will be better like this. So it's ongoing, very fluid process. So I'm very interested in your comments, advices, critique, because this will help to evolve the project further. And as I said, for me, the industry starts in school, and I am ready to get on board with it full, full throttle. So yeah, are there maybe any comments or questions? Yeah? So I will give you the microphone. Okay.
I just wanted to ask about, it looks like this website is only available in Latvian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is the, what was it? The name of the other project, your project?
Yes, the Constellation Class.
Yes, is that available, the studies and the videos and everything, is it in English as well?
So this is not in English, and actually our name in Latvian, Zvaigznāja klase, we never even thought about doing it in English or any other language, because my goal is Latvia, it's my country, and when other countries are showing interest in this project, it's very exciting. But right now, as I said, the resource, we have so many people as we have, and I want to focus all my energy on providing what we need, because even if I make it in English, it will still not work. Why? Because Estonia, Spain, you have different curriculums from the government. And if you want really to implement it and make it scalable, as colleagues said, you have to take notice what is required. So a closed work with the government entities is in place. There are interesting comments we received from international schools that have their own curriculums. For instance, English curriculum school in Japan. I was visiting Japan recently, and she said, you have to just take notice of the English curriculum that they govern. But the school is in Japan, yes? So you have to take this really in mind, and you can't expect that each teacher in their class will be very creative and improvise, and I will take this from this, I will this from this. Baiba told, yes, that the teacher is very busy in everyday life, so we have to make his life more simple. So there are no plans for English, but there could be a plan for England. This would be a better thing, I guess, for England with their specific requirements, yes?
But so if we wanted to implement these ideas in Estonia, we'd have to take matters into our own hands and start somehow,
yes, you will have to take the matters in your own hands. I will send you the ecosystem of the project, and you can do it, because yes, it takes a lot of people to run this project. So I actually advise to make a separate department, for this project in an academy or in any government entity if you want to proceed. So, and for us, the first stations were deployed in May. So myself, I am going to each school once in semester to see how they are working. Are you finished already, or am I? Oh, I'm so sorry. Silence in the class. Silence in the. I will be silent. So why should we have silence? Because audio recording with the microphone, of course. Silence in the studio. It was a very polite Agnes, shut up please for a minute. Oh, one more time. Okay. I think they're trying to send it to the radio station later. It has to be perfect.
Okay, recording.
Oh, thank you so much. So let's see what will be here. How much time do you need to finish it up so we can listen? Live mix. Okay. Meanwhile, we can actually also check what is going on the table with the apple, Baiba. Don't run away. Can you show us how the apple sounds? So we have a very special instrument, playtronica. Yeah, the apple is connected by ambassador, and so it has to make some sounds now. And we should maybe switch on the monitors. Yeah. Sometimes those apples are really waxed and they don't conduct some electrical signals. So let's see if we put this green one in the water bowl. Does the water bowl sound? Mm-hmm. Try the water. Oh, the water goes well. And try now with the wet hands. Try to touch the apple. So they're waxing those apples a lot. So everyone is welcome to come here after the session and really try out the apple. And where is our spoon? Try to use a spoon as well. So the apple is very eco. It's so eco that it doesn't conduct any electricity. Yeah, so it's also a MIDI controller. And can anybody tell me why the water and the metal spoon is making sounds? And also why Matthijs is making sounds when he's touched by Baiba? We know that. We know that. So what do you think about that? Why is making sounds? It's very simple. It's quite physical, actually, yeah? So the electric impulse is conducted by metal and water, and that's it. So basically, this instrument is just a MIDI controller, the one that I showed you before. So it's just very wire. Yeah, it has the design of the wires. And we just want to show that with any type of instrument you can learn music and discover these sound designs. So, any more questions, maybe, or comments? Yeah? You're smiling a lot. Yeah, maybe some comments, maybe some feedback. How does it look? What does it sound for you? Very exciting.
Yeah, I wanted to tell which one. This one, yeah. That in class also, as you saw, I did something wrong. And it's okay for them to be wrong in some cases because it all can be deleted and you can try it one more time and again and again. And for the students aged till grade 9, it's pretty convenient to do this stuff. And they're really interested, even it's allowed to be wrong in sometimes, to make mistakes.
And also this book emphasizes a lot the very big importance on kā ir atgriezieniskā saite angliski, es aizmirsu. The results, so the feedback, yes, the feedback. It is very important for those kids to gain feedback. So these exercises are developed so they can make them in 30 minutes. When the 30 minutes pass, the group comes and as Baiba and Matthijs will now present their work, the group presents their work, what they have done. Why did they choose to mix Arvo Pärtu with Anna Saksa? Please explain. Please tell me why did you make this decision? And in Latvian system right now for evaluation, this decision making is very important. In general education, even more important than the bemol or diez itself, because we want them to understand and to make these decisions very consciously. So, Baiba and Matthijs, please feel free to show your work, and we want to listen how Arvo Pärts meets Anna Saksa.
Magones prata māksliniekam uzsmaidīt. un tāpēc viņš ar krāsām neskopojās, bet uztriepa tās biezā kārtā. Dālijas paglaimoja māksliniekam un glaimi bagātīgi atmaksājās. Viņš nostrādāja vairākas dienas, izkrāsodams tās visu krāsu visīsākajās niansēs.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and this is how the process can be conducted in the class, that they receive their feedback and I say, wow, this was an interesting choice. I never thought about it. I never thought how beautiful can it be. So we want to encourage to use classical values with modern day layers of digitalization and make something new and creative, interpret, make new ideas come to life in classroom. So if anybody has more questions, feel free. I want everybody to come, to touch the spoon and the water and the experience and to see the flute. And some exercises can be used with analog synthesizer to put more sound design. So you can layer. These are only 2 layers, yeah? You can layer, and there are several layers for the exercise. So thank you so much, and yes, I will feel free to see you at the table. And also, I really want to say thank you to Baiba. She's an inspiration for me. I want every teacher in Latvia to be like her. She's a great profile. My long-term conquistador, Matisse, he's my ally. And our project manager, Sandra, who makes everything to happen in life. Say hi, Sandra. So... And of course, thank you, Team Estonia, for welcoming us. It's a very great honor to be here to present you what we do. And I hope our sister countries will have more projects in common so we can be force. Thank you so much.